Claude Cowork is the first AI that doesn't just answer you, it actually works for you. This AI tool just made a lot of software companies very nervous. It can actually do your job for you. Let's start the unfolding of Claude Cowork.
All right, let's dive in. Today, we are talking about a huge strategic shift from one of the biggest names in AI, Anthropic. They're making a massive bet on a future where AI doesn't just talk with you, it actually works for you. It gets stuff done.
So think about the AI you probably use every day. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer, right? You ask for a quick summary of a long email, and you get it. But is that really it? Is that incredibly powerful AI on your computer basically just a fancy, super articulate search engine?
And this right here is the giant leap we're talking about. On one side, you've got the chatbots we all know. They're reactive. They answer our questions. But on the other side, you have AI agents. They are proactive. They actually complete tasks. This is the fundamental problem Anthropic is trying to solve. To transform AI from something that just finds information to something that takes action.
So how do you make that jump? How do you go from a simple chatbot to a genuine digital coworker? Well, that brings us to this really cool concept called agentic AI. This is the key term for today, agentic AI. And it's not just about chatting. It's about an AI that can truly understand a goal, map out a whole plan with multiple steps to get there, and then, this is the important part, actually do the work all on its own. It's kind of like the difference between an assistant who can find a recipe for you and an assistant who can go into the kitchen and actually cook the meal. And Anthropic's big play here is a new tool they're calling Cowork. The process from your end is incredibly simple. All you do is describe what you want, the final outcome. From there, Anthropic's AI, Claude, takes over. It builds the plan, does all the number crunching and document creation in a totally secure virtual space, and then just delivers the finished files right to your computer. And look, we're not talking about some far-off, futuristic idea. These are real, concrete tasks. We're talking about all that tedious stuff that eats up our workdays. Organizing that disaster of a downloads folder? Done. Turning a pile of receipts into a clean expense report? No problem. Taking your rough notes and building a whole slide deck? Yep. Cowork is designed to just automate that kind of digital drudgery, freeing us up to do the more important strategic thinking.
But you know, a tool this powerful doesn't just magically appear. It needs a gigantic engine humming behind the scenes. And when I say gigantic, I mean it's being built on a truly mind-boggling scale.
$50 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the size of the investment Anthropic is pouring into its AI infrastructure just in the US. This isn't them just rolling out a new feature. This is a massive declaration that they believe agentic AI is the entire future of their platform.
And that $50 billion isn't just some abstract number on a press release. It's translating into real, physical stuff. We're talking new data centers in Texas and New York, thousands of construction jobs, hundreds of permanent tech jobs. All of it is being built to create the raw horsepower needed to make this agentic future a reality.
Of course, all the computing power in the world is useless if the tech isn't solving actual, real-world problems. So now let's look at how Anthropic is taking this out of the lab and putting it into practice with some seriously major business partners.
First up, the London Stock Exchange Group. Starting here says everything. I mean, you can't get much more high stakes or data sensitive than the world of global finance. This partnership is a massive vote of confidence right out of the gate.
And this quote from Anthropic really nails it. When you combine Claude's brainpower with LSEG's super trusted real-time data, financial pros can automate these incredibly complex tasks. Things like analyzing an earnings call or spotting market trends can happen almost instantly. The secret sauce here is the secure, direct pipeline between LSEG's private data and Claude's analytical engine. So this isn't the AI just scraping the public internet. It's getting a direct, trusted feed of real-time market data. This allows it to do analysis that would normally take a whole team of experts hours, if not days, to complete.
Okay, next, let's switch gears from finance to the world of enterprise operations with ServiceNow. This is a platform that big companies use to build all the custom software that runs their day-to-day business. And here, the whole game is about changing how those tools get built in the first place.
The CEO of ServiceNow just captures the mission perfectly. This is all about democratization. By
By plugging Claude into what they call their build agent, they're making it possible for people with zero coding experience to build serious, powerful business apps just by describing what they need in plain English.
And the results are just wow. ServiceNow is already using this with over 29,000 of their own employees, and get this, they've seen a 95% reduction in prep time for their sales teams. That is a game-changing productivity boost. Now they're expanding it into super-critical industries like healthcare.
All right, our third major partnership takes us into the world of scholarly research and education with Wiley, a huge publisher of academic journals. This one tackles one of the biggest challenges facing AI today, information integrity. Making sure it's not just making stuff up.
The focus here is all about trust. Wiley's whole goal is to make sure that when AI is being used for serious research, it's pulling from a foundation of verified, high-quality, peer-reviewed information, not just random stuff it found on the internet.
So, what this integration means is that proper author attributions and correct citations are baked in from the very beginning. It lets students and researchers at universities like Northeastern use Claude to speed up their discovery process, but without sacrificing the high standards of academic integrity. It's a huge deal. Now, when you unleash a technology this transformative, it inevitably makes waves, big waves. It's going to disrupt existing markets for sure, but it also raises these really deep questions about responsibility. So let's look at both sides of that coin.
The day Cowork was announced, it sent absolute shockwaves through the software industry. Some people even started calling it the SaaSpocalypse. You had companies like Thomson Reuters and LegalZoom, companies whose whole business model is based on selling structured information or processing documents, and their stocks just plummeted. The market immediately realized that if an AI agent can do the core job for you, the value of that old software suddenly becomes questionable. And this powerful, immediate market reaction leads us to that classic essential question. When you create something with this much disruptive power, something that can fundamentally change how people work, what's your obligation?
And this question brings us right back to Anthropic's DNA. Unlike some of their rivals who seem to prioritize speed above all else, Anthropic was literally founded on the principle of AI safety. And this isn't just a marketing slogan, it's a deep-seated part of their research. They are actively trying to solve the really hard problems of making these systems reliable, understandable, and steerable, ensuring that this world-changing tech is also built on a solid foundation of responsibility.
So after seeing the tech, the massive investment, and these incredible real-world partnerships, we're left with this one big question. It's really no longer a matter of if AI will be a part of our daily work, but how. And looking at this huge agentic shift, you have to ask yourself, is your next coworker, the one handling your expense reports and building your presentations, actually going to be an AI? It sure seems like Anthropic is betting everything on the answer being yes.